Good afternoon, folks. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you. First, thank you for coming back. That's always a good sign with a training conference that we actually have people returning. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for a great morning session. There was a lot of lively feedback and it was exciting. And I think we have actually a full afternoon. We have two sessions going on, so double header with OPM. So if you're one of the folks doing staffing, you should be down in B176, but you're also welcome to be with us up here. You know, there was a time in the dark old ages where you could run HR or Human Capital Office with a copy of the Federal Personnel Manual in one hand and 5 CFR in the other, and that's all it took. Those days are long gone. As you heard today, it's about business partnership. It's about strategic planning. It's about data, analysis, business trends. And at OPM, one of the folks who has been at the forefront of this is our next presenter, Dr. Kimya Lee. Dr. Lee is OPM's Senior Advisor on Research and Evaluation. As we head into EVS time, I will let you know she was one of the architects of the EVS survey, but that's not what she's discussing today. She also led the design and implementation of the Unlocking Federal Talent Dashboard. Today she's going to be speaking today, she's speaking today on the importance of data and analytical research as how it applies to the job we're doing and looking at the HR function, HR role of the future. So again, the days of old manuals are gone. It's the day of data. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Lee for a really entertaining session.
Thank you. I don't know if it's harder to be the last person at the end of the day or the person to talk right after lunch. So, like he said, my name's Kimya Lee. I'm at OPM. I'm a Senior Advisor on Research and Evaluation. Fancy title, all that means is, we look at research to really drive our decisions. And what I'm going to talk about today is how HR professionals are moving into and having expectations to use data, research, as well as how does that affect our day-to-day work. If you guys have any questions during any time during this talk, please just speak up. I want it to be as conversational as possible with this room and 100 or so people. But hopefully you'll find this enlightful. If you agree with everything I say, I did not do my job. Because we are really trying to push the envelope. And if I'm just preaching to the choir, this was the wrong talk for this group. And so there's going to be times where you totally disagree with me. That is fine. There's going to be times where you're going to question, how does this fit with my work? That's what I'm hoping we get out of this. So at any time, if you disagree, just tell me what your experience like, because your experience is unique because of your position as well as your agency. So, the future of HR, understanding, assessing, and shaping. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm really going to talk about where we've been, with the introduction, the 5C manual, which I do not know what it is, as well as where we're going. Research came out in 2015, and they asked private sector business leaders this one question. I hope everyone can see it. Just this one question. And what do you think their response was? Yes or no? People who say yes, just give me raise your hand. There's one person doing this. Unfortunately, when they asked this, 22% of them said they don't think that HR is adapting to the changing needs of their business. Another 20% said they feel HR is adapting plans for the company future and talent. So what does that mean? When I first saw this, again, this is 2015 data. When I first saw this, I thought, that's troubling. And then I realized they're talking about the HR of the past. And so the way we did this is like circa 1999 or something. What we need to talk about is our new reality. Our new reality deals more so with human capital management, which is one of the most powerful tools we have. It's the way we leverage, the way we increase our productivity and drive our mission. So it's not just about HR of the past. It's not just about how many people we have or how many people we're recruiting. It is about the full holistic picture of HR. And so those statistics that I showed the slide before, again, that's the HR of the past. Unfortunately, we still have agencies and individuals who are still working in that mentality. We're really talking about a mind shift. One of the most important assets is people. And who know people better than HR professionals? Everything I say, all the research we have, all the data that we're going to talk about or not talk about, at the end of the day, your experience with understanding people is the glue that brings us together. And so when we talk about this new framework, I know you guys heard from other people today about the new HR framework. We're talking about using data, improving business processes, and focusing on recruitment and retaining, but not just the old way of doing it. When you think about it, we have 4, some people say 5 generations in our workforce. The way we recruited 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, is changing. And because of that, again, we have to think about HR, but we have to think about human capital management. It is more than HR. It is bigger than HR. It's collectively, all of us play a part of that human capital management. Why now? This is the best time where we can show our added value, what we're adding to our agency, to the field, to the federal government. This is the most important time we have moving forward. HCM is easier now than it ever have been because of technology, I think. Actually, I'm thinking HCM is tougher than ever. It's tougher because we have more expectations. You have technology, you have to deal with that technology, you have to understand that technology. You have different expectations. So with those expectations, it's not just, oh, I understand we hired 10 individuals, or where did you go out to recruit? We're asking more than that. And so on the surface, because of technology, it may seem like it's easier. In some ways it is. But the expectations and what you can do with that technology and how that technology is always changing, it's a lot harder. We have to do this mind shift. And so when you went through your certificate program or your education program or you decided to come into HR, that, what you learned, what you did, what they taught you is changing. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to change with it. So what is this evidence-based HR? And so far, this is the best definition I found. There's lots of definitions out there. But at the end of the day, it's just using the best available evidence, data, research, whatever, to support people-related decision-makings. That's what we're doing. So when you go out and you're talking about feedback, you're using the best available data at your fingertips and incorporating the people aspect to that. And that's why you're different and have a greater impact than all the data scientists we could ever hire. And believe me, we're hiring data scientists. And those data scientists are important, but they don't have that people aspect that you guys are bringing to the table. Actually, the one other thing I want to say this is, as HR professionals, you guys are you're the bridge that between the people and the delivery of the business strategy. You're that bridge. Remember I talked about those data scientists. They're gonna provide you with information about what's going on, what possibly we can change, but you are that bridge that connect that research to the business strategy in your agency. So how do we embrace data? Agencies are eager to move forward to making decisions, evidence-based decisions, even administration. So there's a number of initiatives that are coming out of the White House that's all about data-driven decision-making as well as evidence-based decision-making. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but all agencies were asked with no increase in budget, I'm gonna put that out there, to really put forward two projects that really shows evidence-based decision-making for this last year. So they're highlighting and spotlighting the importance of research, evidence, as well as data as we form our policies. And so it's not just a push in a private sector or a push in few agencies. This has been a main push in this administration. Just think about how strong our policies are now when it's not just your gut reaction. It's not just, we've been doing this for the last 20 years. Why would you want to change it? Or everyone knows that, millennials are coming in and they're just going to leave. Everyone doesn't know that. And actually, the data doesn't back that up. An interesting fact about millennials, they are more likely to switch jobs, yes, but they're more likely to switch jobs when they're not given different opportunities. And so it's not about whether or not they're gonna leave an agency or leave a group. It's not about them always trying to maneuver. It's really about giving them opportunities in which they can drive. And so if we don't do that, then yes, sorry to say, your workforce, your millennials, the next group of feds, are going to leave, and they're going to move around enough until they continue to gain those opportunities and develop. That is different than saying, oh, millennials are not loyal. That is that's totally different. As well as when we talk about loyalty, specifically with millennials, yes, they are not loyal to agencies. Why should they be? All their life they grew up, and their parents, only their grandparents had the pensions and was at an agency for 30, 40 years. Millennials, they are loyal to their supervisors. They are loyal to their mentors. So it's not about the agency, it's about the work. If you give them the opportunity to show what they can do, just think about it. When you're sitting at your job, when you're sitting at your desk, what's the one thing you want to do? Contribute. That's what they want to do too. They want the opportunity to contribute, to walk away saying, I earned my keep today. I understand how my job is really related to our mission. But again, if you're sitting around in a group or if you're reading something online, they'll tell you, millennials, they're all leaving. They have no loyalty, but they don't tell you why. So embracing data. 78% of executives reported that data and data decision making has become important in the past 2 years. This is 2014 data. So when you think about it, we're talking about 2012. So in 2012, they're saying, yes, in 2014, data is really important. Can you imagine what they're saying now? They're saying without data, I can't drive my business. I can't lead my teams. I can't run my program. I can't hire the best and the brightest. Executives are leveraging that data, and they're more confident in those decisions. And so when there's risky decision making, there's some data to back it up, executives are more likely to be confident in their decision making. So think about it. If you're walking into a store and you're really not sure about the quality of the food and it's gonna cost maybe $5 or so, you're a little shaky. But with Yelp, you can take a look at that restaurant, you see how many stars they have, and that decision-making process becomes a lot easier. It's just like going to a restaurant. It's all about data. So you go to a new town, you want to check out some restaurants, you're not sure if you just go with your gut and go somewhere, you're not all that confident. But if you look on the app and you look at Yelp and it says, hey, this restaurant, 4 stars, your confidence level increases. It's the same thing with our day-to-day work. Our agency leaders are increasingly demanding, and I want to emphasize demanding, that HR professionals, just like other professionals in the workforce, so just like my research psychologists or my statisticians or the economists, they're demanding that HR professionals also use metrics for in-depth analysis to make those good decisions. So what they're expecting from you isn't necessarily any different than what they're expecting from the economists. We expect economists to forecast unemployment rates. We expect our HR professionals to forecast where should we do our recruiting. How do you know that? You only know where you should target your recruiting based off of data. And so in the last 5 years, if you say that this type of individual with this type of skill, it seems like, I don't know, New Mexico is a good place because of the schools down there and they're teaching and there's a lot of professionals, then that's where you target your recruitment efforts. It's the same thing, it's forecasting. It's forecasting just like the economists are forecasting unemployment rate. So again, our leadership is demanding that we use data. And I know for some people, you're thinking, hey, I went into the people skills because math wasn't my thing. Or I don't use data in my day-to-day activities. I would argue that you do. You may not be doing the formulas or creating the correlations or causality or anything like that, but you're using data in your day-to-day activity. If not, how will you ever make a decision? The complexity, the ever-changing complex environment, I can understand why you can feel anxious about this. Specifically, like I said, you didn't go into the math, science field. It's not reasonable that we expect you to know everything or to be up to speed in every technique, every type of analysis. But it is reasonable for us to expect you to ask hard questions. Push your colleagues. When they say, hey, it looks like we're not getting any feedback, or millennials, I'm gonna keep on going back to the millennials, or millennials, when you think about it, they are high maintenance. High maintenance. Is it because all their lives they have been on their iPhone? Instant feedback. I can play a game. Actually, we were just talking, Angry Birds. We're talking about playing Angry Birds, and immediately you know exactly where you're at, what level you're at, and you're pushing for that next level. And so they're getting instant feedback. I send a text, immediately I'm getting a text back. And so it's not about being high maintenance, it's really trying to connect. And so you give a presentation, I expect instant feedback. And part of that instant feedback is some of the looks on your face. I can see some people are falling asleep. I'm gonna assume they had turkey for lunch. Who knows? But that's the expectation. You know, we can't just jump to, oh, they all behave this way. But millennials, we can't just assume because someone's been at an agency for 10, 15 years, they're not interested in learning or doing it a different way. You can't make that judgment, that general judgment as well. Maybe they don't have the experience, or maybe no one ever told them. Maybe it's totally new, something that seems so clear and reasonable for you because you do it all the time, may not for someone else. And that's why it's so important, specifically within a federal government, that we take advantage of the vast knowledge we have across these generations. So what are required behaviors? Ask hard questions. That doesn't take you knowing anything about algebra. Someone show you something, hey, what does that mean? Or, I wonder if we cut it by agency or component or race or length of service. You don't have to know the formula, but you should be required to ask hard questions. Someone hands you a report, don't accept it. Ask about it. If something stands out, I didn't expect that. What do you think happened? That's how you build an analytic culture. Even with that, you still have to demand accountability. Accountability for yourself, for your colleagues, for the reports you put out, for the data. But this is a big one. We have to counterbalance that need for accountability with a little bit of risk-taking. Because if you're curious and you take a little risk and it doesn't work out and your hands get smacked, you are less likely to take more risks. And so we have to figure out that balance. One thing that I can say at OPM and some of the other agencies I talked with, they never promote what they're doing. They don't promote that, we use data and this is what we produce. This is the decision we made. And even if you're not doing it agency-wide or putting it on your website or anything like that, go up to your colleague and say, hey, do you see this decision about this policy? They use the information that we pulled together. Because you want that feedback as well. You want to know that you are contributing. So I have some ideas about the roadblocks, but I want you to think about what roadblocks do you think are impeding us to get to that analytic culture within your day-to-day. This is that give and take that I was talking about. Anyone? It's your colleagues. There's no right or wrong answer, all the way in the back.
So one of the roadblocks many times, the very first thing that's usually affected is the training budget.
I'm sorry, one of the roadblocks are?
Training budget is one of the first things that's cut.
Training budget's one of the first things that's cut. Anything else? I remember having this conversation with OPM senior leaders. It was time for the budget submission, and training was going to be cut. And I said, yes, we say we want to invest in our employees, and the first thing that goes is the training. But my challenge to you is think outside the box. It doesn't have to necessarily be the traditional training. When I talk about training to my team, I talk about sometimes they go to conferences, webinars. It doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional training that they're talking about. Also, you can do webinars online. Get some of your colleagues, pull it into a conference room. Learn that way. So just because they're saying, hey, we're gonna cut the budget, and now you only have, I don't know, $150 to get some training done, think outside of the box. That shouldn't stop you. Other roadblocks. Data, correct. And so we're always concerned about the data. Can we believe the data? Do we know enough about the data? Part of that is when you think about data maturity, you think about open data, where lots of people are looking at it, you feel confident, and then you have this restricted data that you're pulling, and as soon as someone pulls that data and they show a number, and you're like, I don't trust that data. Other roadblocks. Transparency. Transparency leads to trust. Even if you don't agree with the decision, if they're transparent about it, you trust it. I will give you that. Others. Excellent. I call it fear, but the ones that, anyone else? This is your last chance. Accountability. Excellent. Others. Having the right people. It's interesting. It's like I'm at OPM. Very similar things came up. So here are the ones I came up with. Adoption. It's a mindset. It's the culture. Data sharing. That gets to whether or not the data is clean, is it reliable? Fear of how the data will be used. Fear the data will be used to show your agency in a negative light. There's this thing, talent utilization and gap. That's having the right people run the right stuff. But that talent gap, sometimes it's about upskilling. Sometimes it's you have a few people, you give them some, I don't know, books, webinars, and then you upskill them. Reports. Let me tell you, the federal government, we are good at producing reports. We produce reports. A report on everything. There's gonna be a report on this report out that you guys are gonna receive in 2 days about the conference. It's true, right? You're here, but there's gonna be some summary, there's gonna be a report, and if there's no report, people are gonna be like, where's the report? Have you seen it? What are they hiding? There's no transparency. So those are some of the roadblocks. I keep coming back to this. You shouldn't blindly accept results, even if I give them to you. 95% of the time, I'm correct, plus or minus 5%, but who knows? But don't blindly accept anything. Question it. Question your colleagues. That's how you push each other. That's how you learn. That's where HR is going. So it's not just, yes, I got this data. I got this data from my analysis team. I guess it's fine. No, question them. Another thing that the government does is data for data's sake. Is it constructive? It's just not. You can become overwhelmed with not only reports, but data. You become so overwhelmed, you become paralyzed, and you can't use it. And so producing data for data's sake isn't helping.
I was going to ask you about that, because I wrote paralysis by analysis.
Paralysis by it?
A lot of analytical cultures where you can't implement because you keep asking for more and more data, and then you're kind of using that approach so you don't have to.
So Paralysis by analysis. That's what we're talking about.
And have there been reports about that in the government, in some sectors? Because it seems that that's an approach that's taken a lot of agencies.
With that approach, do you think it's about not moving forward or not knowing a path to?
Just not having a trust that you have enough data to make a decision
On all levels.
on everybody.
So here's my question, and here's my pushback, and whether or not I believe this, I'm just going to challenge you anyway, because I've been telling you guys, question everything. So do you think it's because analysts would come in, hand you a table, and don't say anything about it, and so you have to question, and then you ask for more data, and more data, and more data?
Well, I think the difference between public and private sector is that the private sector can't play that game. Because you're in a profit kind of, you have to make a decision. Disney has to get that movie out. And so, but here in the federal government, we can take our time. And so we keep asking for more and more because we're not in the same mode as the private sector.
So do you think in one instance we are, but it's not front of the mind? Because there's going to be agencies within the federal government where there are profits. The Mint, they'll tell you exactly how much it costs to make that coin and how much they're going to get for it.
Or the VA where a decision has to be made and it's a life or death situation.
Or,
You can't keep going for data and have the patient.
correct, NIH, CDC. So there's definitely agencies where maybe they're using the data to make those decisions. But yes, within the federal government, I think you're spot on. It comes to my next chart. So when we talk about data by itself isn't enough. So you have your data, then you produce a report, and then there's some analysis. And the way the chain should work, there's some action, some decision, and then that shows you your value. That is a step to having a data-driven culture. That step right there, where you're leaders, where you take action to make a decision. That's where we need to get to. As you pointed out, this is where we're at. Does this sound familiar? Hey, we're looking at this new policy. Can you go run some analysis? You come back with a metric. Oh, that's great. Can you go deeper into that metric? You go deeper, you write another report. There's another table, there's another report. This is wonderful. You get a new senior leader. Oh, this is great, but I wonder if you can do it this way. And so you produce another report, and reports are like rabbits. They just replicate, just go on and on and on and on and on, right? But the sad part is we never kill anything because someday, 5 years from now, someone, your new executive, will ask me about this and I'll be able to pull the report. That's why we can't get to the next level. We need to be here using data to make decisions. But within the federal government, most agencies, we are here. Yes? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Use the mic, please.
I apologize for everyone for the delay on getting up here. In the introduction of you, they talked about that you had worked with the EVS, Employee Viewpoint Survey, right? Correct? I want you to explain to us what is top management. So when employees say that they're dissatisfied with top management, are they dissatisfied with their second level supervisor, their office director, their higher level assistant secretary, maybe one of their DAS, deputy assistant secretaries, or maybe the secretary? So, you know, when I'm looking at you and you're talking about all this, so many times we get this feedback from the EVS and we have no idea what to do with it and how to create an action.
Did everyone hear that? So here's the thing with the EVS. It is important to have metrics, not only annual metrics, but hopefully within your agency, you're having quarterly or some other type of metric. The EVS is being sent out to over 87 agencies with different levels. And so we try to provide a definition of what we mean by senior leaders. And so with senior leaders, we usually talk about the SES or the political or the appointee. What I would say is if you're going to look at the data and not only just look at the reports that OPM produce, which are thousands, so OPM's in this process as well, but ask yourself, how do we cut this data by the different levels and see a difference? What we looked at last year is that when you talked about senior leaders, that question about managers and senior leaders, our GS15s were actually most dissatisfied, and they're closer to senior leaders. And so when they were completing their survey, they were looking up the chain of command. And so the assumption is that they're talking about their SES or their program lead. I don't know if we're ever going to get to a place where we can say, this is a direct line of sight, and this is how you're referring to them. I know the Department of Education, within their EVS, actually they included another item, and they talked about, just before the EVS went out, they talked about, this is your senior leadership. When it's time for the survey, this is who your senior leaders are. So think about that individual when you're talking about the senior leaders or when you're responding to the survey. That worked really well for them. But for 87 agencies, it's going to be extremely difficult to figure out, every level. So when we talk about senior leaders, when we report it out, we are really talking about the senior-most leaders in your agency. Whether or not when you're responding to that item, I can't say. But that's part of the process. That's part of asking those hard questions and maybe, cutting the data a different way. Cutting the data a way in which OPM's not currently doing it. You understand HUD and HUD's culture. You understand that question you're trying to ask. You can cut it that way. Another thing, we had senior executive, SAOs, senior accountable officers for engagement. And those senior accountable officers, we went to them and we said, here's your agency. Here's your agency results by senior leaders, specifically in engagement. And this is the way it's broken out by some of your larger components. And what we saw, there was one agency, I don't think it was HUD, no, EPA. EPA, we saw in one of their regions, their leaders' lead score dropped by 20%. It was a huge drop. Another another region, it went up just 10%, and they were surprised because the region where it went up 10%, they just lost their regional manager, who unfortunately passed away suddenly. But what he had in place drove the rest of the leadership team. And so those are the types of analysis and cuts of the data and questions you ask because you understand your culture to get to the next level. Other questions? Oh, by the way, there's a limit on EVS questions I'm going to ask you today. So you have 5 minutes to get the rest of your EVS questions in.
This is not an EVS question, but on that value chain, can you talk for a second about the difference between reporting and analysis? Because I think a lot of times we get that confused, and we published a report and we said, look, there's data, so that must be analysis, right?
So I'm not going to say what agency I was at, but I was talking about this. Even before I got to this slide, their CIO raised their hand and said, hey, we put out our data. We have this web portal. We produce reports on a monthly basis. And I said, yes, you do. But the question is, do you ask questions to get to the analysis part? And so I can tell you, here's a table, 26% said this, 18% said this. But the next question you have to ask is why? And that's when you get to that true analysis. And when you start asking each other why before you send that report or send that table to your senior leaders, it makes it so much easier for them to base decisions off of it. And so that's the big difference. You run a report, numbers, estimates, I am sure is fine. To get to the analysis, you have to ask the next question. And you should expect it from yourself, but you should expect it from your colleagues. You owe each other that. Other questions? So I talked a lot about data. Data by itself can lead you astray. I am a data person. I talk about data, I use data. I see data in everything. But by itself, it will lead you astray because you will misinterpret what it's saying. This is where your expertise come in. You have to take into consideration that gut feeling. You see something, you're like, oh, that's just not right. We still need that. But that gut feeling shouldn't be what you use to base all your decisions on. Harmony is really when you make the decisions that balance data, research, analysis, and your own judgment. You guys are experienced. You know, it doesn't make sense to say, oh, you can only use this data, and you're sitting there saying, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. That's when you have to talk about it. So we need you to use your judgment and balance with the data to get to the next place. GPS alone, how many times are you using GPS and they tell you to go one way and you're like, I'm not going that way. My GPS hasn't been updated in 5 years, I will be off a cliff somewhere. So you need your experience as well. So, what do I think the HR professional of the future will be like? Someone who's comfortable with analytics. Again, I'm not saying you have to go back and get a statistical degree. I'm not saying you need a math degree. I'm not saying you need to be a data analyst. What I am saying is that you have to be comfortable with seeing numbers, questioning numbers, having some understanding of the numbers in each of your positions, because everyone's position is slightly different. We understand that. But the HR professional, as an HR professional of the future, you have to be comfortable with numbers. In technology. When we asked, what are the top skills for today and in the future? It's interpreting and understanding data. And when you think about it, if we took away the data part, it's about critical thinking. I'm sure you do this in your job every day now. Problem solving. Drawing conclusions, but drawing conclusions with data. That harmony thing we talked about. Communicating. Biggest thing. Once you have something done, you have to communicate it in such a way where people understand it. And so if you do have a report and you just report it out, or you do some special analysis, or you have an idea based off of the data that you just saw. If you can't communicate that idea, it becomes harder to implement. So communication, not just talking about Title 32 or this reg or that reg, it's really about communicating how this policy is being implemented, what you have seen over the last 5 years. Communication is extremely important. And decision making. Again, you'll be paralyzed with the amount of data there is. Being able to figure out what data is important and what's not. But even if you can't do it, being able to figure out who to go to have that conversation. You can look inside your team, your agency, your component, your different area. I am sure you have a number of people who are really comfortable with numbers, and you can go talk to them. This is your impact. We are so worried about technology, having the right tools, getting the latest software, being up on technology, on how to use this information. We're forgetting about the human implications that's part of HR. That's your impact. That's what you add. That's your value added to all of the data we're talking about. That's your value added to your agency mission success. And so, as I said before, it's not about just the data. You have to be able to see the data and say, that doesn't look right. Or, I wonder if, because of the different generations in the workforce, we have to rethink how we approach individuals. It's that individual contact. It's the human element. Again, data can lead you astray. What you guys are adding, why it's so desperately needed, is really that connection between data and behavior science. You understand people. And you'll get to understand the data. Here's my secret sauce. I was gonna put my hot sauce, but I'm not sharing that recipe at this point. So it's not just about the data, although I talked about data a lot. An over-reliance of data, qualitative or quantitative, you won't get the best of either. So if you only rely on hard numbers, or if you only rely on the latest story, you're not gonna get the best of either. So you need that combination. You have to understand the narrative, the context, the nuances. I can come in, run some numbers for you. I can tell you what I think. Without knowing the nuances of your agency, your team, your region, then I'm not telling a full picture. So not only the data, not only taking one over the other, you need a combination of the two, but you also have to bring to it the nuances and the context, the narrative. That's where storytelling becomes. Storytelling is so important to not only get in the decisions made, but understanding what's going on. And with that storytelling, that's where the narrative and the nuances come in. There's the science. I can run some statistical analysis, and then there's the art. And one cannot work without the other. That's the only way you will continue to move the mission of your agency, the mission of your programs. You have to have both. Insight comes from just more than spreadsheets. I don't care how many spreadsheets you have. That's only one part of it. Context matter. In the end, evidence gets us on a highway, but when you're there, based off of what you know, you have to decide which lane to get in. And so that, I think, is a great analogy of how to combine the two. Evidence will get you there, but we need you to decide, hey, I'm going 40 miles per hour, maybe I need to be on the right-hand side. Or hey, I'm hitting 85, not saying you guys should, but maybe I need to be on the left-hand side. Someone talked about training. Tools are secondary. Tools are really secondary. So you have to have some base understanding of the tool. But really, the learning approach is about problems, attacking problems in an analytic way. And where you get this mostly with mentoring and peer-to-peer learning. Because they can talk to you about what's going on in your agency or how you can do this. So tools are important, but it's secondary. You have to have that problem-solving, analytic type of mindset. Adoption, from a cultural sense, from HUD, is the biggest bottleneck because this is a cultural change. It's not easy. I remember a few weeks ago, my boss, he came into my office and he said, if I get one more email about you doing this, whatever it was, and I looked at him and I said, this is what culture change looked like. I am pushing buttons, but this is what it looks like. So you're gonna get those emails. And yes, we're gonna be frustrated. And sorry, we will not make certain people happy, but that's what culture change look like. And sometimes we always try to go, oh, the whole agency have to change. Let's start small. Start with your team and then move out. I just like the slide. All right, our responsibility. Our responsibilities, we don't have to have all the answers, but we should ask the hard questions. You owe that to yourself, you owe that to your colleagues, you owe that to your agency. And in return, your agency owes it to you. And so it's our responsibility to get this down the road. Any questions?
Great. Well, thank you, Dr. Lee. And it's funny, I was sitting in the back, and sometimes you feel like you're at the back of a church service. You just want to stand up and be like, can I have an amen? And I saw so many people with those looks on their faces during your presentation. It was like, absolutely. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we will now be taking a short break. Oh, hold on.
Well, before you leave, I want to just take a short minute to say thank you to Dr. Kimmy Lee. She's an inspiration to me because, yes. She is really just a fantastic person. She does presentations all well, she used to do a lot more presentations at the council on EVS and data, and just has brought a lot to the agency. And, when she actually invited us to the summit at AU not too long ago. It was a research summit, and really building the agenda for policy. And she does a lot for the federal government. So I'm very happy that she agreed to come here for us and talk to us. We're trying to build our competencies, and this is very important, to ask the right questions and to build your competencies. Do the research, and just really, it's important that you ask questions when you're doing things, when you're doing your job. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid to do that. And when you're, working with your customers, don't be afraid to do that. When you're reading things and if something doesn't look right, you have to ask those questions to be able to get to the right answer. Don't just accept. When she said that, she's really, she's right on point. So, I'm very grateful that she took the time out of her schedule to be here today. So thank you so much, and we'd like to present you with this certificate for our appreciation. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you again.
Great, so we'll have a short break and we'll reconvene here at 2:45 to hear from our colleague Charles Butler on HUD's N10.